Hello everyone and welcome to an analysis video of Upper Rank 6 Gyutaro. This video will have no manga spoilers, so it will be anime only friendly. I want this video to be concise and not too long, so let's not waste any time and get into it. Gyutaro, or if you want his real name, Gyutaro Shabana, is the true holder of the position Upper Rank 6. He, however, shares this position with his little sister Daki, or later known by her real name Ume. Gyutaro is, in my opinion, the most underrated character in Demon Slayer. The manga community rarely ever talks about the brilliance of his character. As of this video's release, we're at episode 9 of the Demon Slayer anime, season 2, so I hope the anime community at least gives him the love that he deserves if the manga community doesn't. Anyhow, to better understand Gyutaro, his personality, his motives, and why he is the way he is, it's important to take a look at his backstory and past life. Gyutaro was born in the lowest brothel in the red light district and lived in absolute poverty alongside his single mother, who was very likely a prostitute and got her pregnant from one of her customers. She tried to kill Gyutaro multiple times because he was a burden and it obviously costed money to feed him. Well, she didn't have enough money herself since, well, she was working in a brothel and she lived also in the lowest brothel of the red light district. Despite his weak body, Gyutaro somehow survived. Gyutaro was berated and insulted by people in the red light district. They called him many names: a maggot, dimwit, coward among dunces, and useless. Funnily enough, 100 years later, Gyutaro would use these same insults on Tanjiro, giving us a small glimpse of his past life. Gyutaro was insulted because he smelled terrible due to being covered in fleas. He was also covered in dirt, was ugly, and had an ugly voice. To be honest, I don't know what they're talking about. He's hella attractive and has a nice voice. Fight me in the comments. Anyway, he ate bugs and rats to survive. The only thing he used to entertain himself was a sickle that a customer forgot to take back, which would later become his blood demon art and main weapon. However, after Gyutaro's sister Ume was born, something in him changed. He considered her his pride and joy. He stated that she was so pretty that even adults would falter. Not that hard to see why. Gyutaro started to work as a debt collector and realized he was great at fighting. People feared him and were disgusted by his ugliness. His own ugliness became his pride. #relatable. Ume blew away his sense of inferiority. At this point, Gyutaro started to see a glimmer of light, hoped that his sister as well as himself could make a living and finally be happy. Then soon would come an event that would forever change their lives. For good or bad though, I'll leave that up to you to decide. When Ume turned 13, she blinded a samurai by poking his eye out. Ouch! And as punishment, she was tied up and burned alive. This caused her to develop pyrophobia, which is the fear of fire. We would see this come into play when she gets burned by Nezuko's blood demon art and would scream in agony and begin to break down while remembering this incident, which is another brilliant piece of foreshadowing into their backstory. While all of this happened, Gyutaro was at work, and he would come back soon and find his dear sister, his pride and joy, the only thing that's keeping him going in life, burned to a crisp. Gyutaro cried in agony while holding his sister's burnt corpse and demanded that they bring his sister back to normal, and that if they don't, he'll kill the Buddhas, gods, and everyone. Although this is a sad scene to watch, it's also beautiful to see how much Gyutaro loves his sister despite the horrible things he's experienced. The samurai that had his eye poked out attacks Gyutaro with his sword from behind. As the samurai and the woman conversate with each other about Gyutaro's horrible nature and the misfortune of Ume being burnt, Gyutaro backflips and 360 fucking no-scopes that woman on some Face Clan shit. And for the first time ever, Gyutaro begins sarcastically mocking the samurai for how good of a life he has. How he wears a beautiful kimono, how he has food, how nice his skin is, how he has a house that will protect him from the rain. And then Gyutaro kills the samurai in an instant, all while being a young boy himself with absolutely no training. He then picks up his sister's almost dead burnt body. Does this remind you of a certain someone? And looks for help. Gyutaro thinks to himself about how no one would help them. Gyutaro then collapsed on the floor after carrying his sister for so long, and it began to snow. Gyutaro mentioned that everything was working against them and began to question the intertwining of fortune and misfortune, how good and bad things come in turn. In all likelihood, as to question when good things would ever come to them. Ironically, or unironically, depending on how you see it, they would be approached by the then upper rank 6, Doma, who offers them his blood and challenges them to become upper rank demons. They want that challenge, bitch! We skip about 100-something years, where Gyutaro first appears after Daki gets beheaded by Uzui, and he immediately begins to sarcastically mock Uzui's good features and grows jealous of him, a trait that he has developed over many years of defeating Hashira and demon hunters. I don't really want to go in detail about the fight since, this is a character analysis video, not a how powerful is Gyutaro video. I do want to touch on certain key moments in the fight that display his character though. So long story short, he fucks everyone up, and even the way he gets defeated wasn't very convincing, at least in my opinion. Like, he could have easily finished off Tanjiro and the others, but the author made him not do that so that the good guys win. Now, I'm not saying that I wanted Gyutaro to win, but the way he lost was kind of bullshit in my opinion. On top of his cool character design, personality, and backstory, his Blood Demon art is super cool, as well as his multiple attacks with sickles. They're beautifully animated in the anime, but I'd imagine super terrifying to go up against. I would not want to be Uzui in the Red Light District arc. Gyutaro comes out whenever his sister is in trouble. He's also incredibly talented and smart. In the manga, it's stated that he has high upper rank perception and that he can process a ton of information at once and act upon it. We've seen this happen in his fight with the Tanjiro squad and Uzui, when he was fighting Uzui as well as the others, even though he wasn't even participating in the fight with Daki. Gyutaro and Daki are also meant to be parallels of Tanjiro and Nezuko. They're what Tanjiro and Nezuko could have been if they both turned into demons and served Muzan. Perhaps this is what causes Gyutaro to offer Tanjiro to turn into a demon, as he probably saw himself in Tanjiro and saw how Tanjiro wants to protect his sister, much like himself. For this last part of the video, I want to get a little serious and discuss the end of Gyutaro and Daki's character. After Gyutaro was beheaded by Uzui and Tanjiro, he reminisces about the past and says one of the most powerful lines in all of Demon Slayer's story. "I have no regrets about being a demon. I'd become one no matter how many times I'm reborn. I'll never forgive others for having better lives. I'll become the pimp who'll snatch them and collect them." The reason this is so powerful is because Gyutaro is the only demon we've seen in the series not regret becoming a demon. All of the demons we've seen so far in the series who thought about their past before death showed signs of clear regret, but Gyutaro did not. Due to the horrible life he lived, he feels intense jealousy towards those who had good lives. I personally believe that Gyutaro would not hold the same beliefs had he been given a better life, but alas. Gyutaro states that the one regret he had in his life was his sister Ume. He regrets that she was influenced by him. He wonders how different and better off she would have been if she was born somewhere else. Gyutaro takes full responsibility for all of the horrible things that his sister has done and blames it on him, despite the fact that, he was just a little boy himself who was also born in poverty. This is shown in full display in one of my favorite moments in the whole series. Gyutaro finds himself in a dark place, wondering if this is hell. He finds Ume in her human form. He screams at her to not follow him anymore, and Ume cries, asking if he is mad about what happened with Tanjiro and the others. Ume apologizes for what she said to him and says that she was frustrated over losing. Gyutaro responds by one of the most selfless moments in all of the Demon Slayer manga and anime. He tells her that they are no longer siblings and tells her to go to the other side where the light is brighter. Bear in mind that Demon Slayer happens in Taisho period Japan, where Buddhism is a major belief which involves reincarnation. Gyutaro tells Ume to go and leave him, be reincarnated and have another shot at a good life while he burns in hell all by himself, proving that despite all of the horrible things that Gyutaro did, his love for his sister was genuine and incredible. Ume jumps at Gyotaro's back, crying that she will always be his little sister no matter how many times she's reborn. Ume reminds him of the promise they made a long time ago, where they will always be together and that as long as they are, they will be fine. Gyutaro holds Ume and they walk into hell together. Truly a brilliant character. Gyutaro isn't supposed to be a character whose actions are forgiven or even justified, but rather understood. You can totally see yourself in his shoes, or even if you can't, you can see that that was his only option. The brilliance of Gyotaro's character lies in the moral ambiguity of his circumstance. Obviously what he did is unforgivable, but given his terrible circumstances, there's not much he could have chosen. He could choose to let his sister die after being burnt and die himself in the snow, or become a demon. Given how horribly treated he was by others and how miserable of a life he lived, it's not hard to see that Gyutaro was incredibly misanthropic and hated humans. So becoming a demon wasn't a hard choice for him, given that, he could exact his revenge on others and save his sister. Thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if I rambled on too long at the end there, but I just really love Gyutaro and I don't think he gets the love he deserves in the community. He's my second favorite character in the whole series, right after Akaza. And I might actually make a video about Akaza to analyze his character because I just love Akaza so much. Once again, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.